Terran History, Part 3 The Rebellion of Korhal. Korhal was one of the core Confederate worlds, once settled by Tarsonian colonists. This planet of abundance and enlightenment has made a great contribution to the military and technological achievements of the Confederacy. Although the Confederacy benefited from Korhal's growing productivity, the people of the colony were resented by the forced exactions administered by the often corrupt Confederate senators. The citizens of Korhal secretly supported numerous riots against the local Confederate militia. The Confederacy responded in kind and introduced martial law in the colony. Apparently, this agitated the population even more and led already to general civil unrest. The Confederates believed that if their richest and most pampered colony could rebel against them, then all other colonies could rebel as well. It was decided that the crisis on Korhal must be brought to an end by any means necessary. Korhal's example was to show the other colonies that the Confederate power was absolute. A dynamic Korhalian senator, Angus Mengsk, became the spokesman for the sentiments of the colony's citizens. When their demands for freedom became apparent, Mengsk decisively declared war against the Confederates. Raising the people of Korhal to a general patriotic uprising, the senators succeeded in capturing all the outposts of the Confederacy on Korhal. By proclaiming the end of all Confederate power over Korhal, Mengsk won the respect and admiration of many other struggling colonies. Trying to control the situation, the Confederates withdrew their troops from Korhal and ordered their ships to leave the planet. Mengsk and other leaders of the rebellion celebrated the victory over the Confederacy, believing they had won independence. The Confederates, however, planned to retake the planet by more sophisticated means, realizing that the loss of Korhal could provoke uprising in other colonies. The Confederates sent 3 of their deadliest assassins, so-called ghosts, to eliminate Mengsk and his supporters on Korhal. The senator's decapitated body, along with those of his wife and young daughter, were found on the balcony of the senator's headquarters. Mengsk's head was never found. This act of terrorism did much to help raise the rebellion on Korhal with new force, in the fire of which the strongest enemy of the Confederacy was forged. Arcturus Mengsk, the son of senator, an excellent Confederate prospector and businessman, took the news of his family's death hard. Having been a prospector for years, Arcturus knew what wild actions the Confederacy was ready to take to achieve its goals. He was not interested in the big politics of the sector, and he was even embarrassed about the actions of his father on Korhal. However, he did not allow the thought that his family could be killed just to put an end to a political dispute. The death of relatives shocked Arcturus. He left his promising career and embarked on the path of revenge. Arcturus created a very strong army, albeit somewhat dubious in terms of personnel, having managed to assemble various armed groups that followed his father in the fight against the Confederacy. The followers of Mengsk boldly attacked various Confederate bases and fortifications. The ruling regime suffered huge losses in manpower, machines and equipment. As rumors circulated of a secret alliance between Mengsk group and the Umoja Protectorate, the Confederate government decided to put an end to this problem once and for all. Several dozen Behemoth-class battlecruisers arrived in orbit around the Korhal and launched a salvo of 1,000 Apocalypse-class nuclear missiles. This merciless blow claimed the lives of over 35 million people. In an instant, the prosperous Korhal colony turned into a melted ball. The news of the nuclear disaster caught Mengsk at a secret base located within the Umojan protectorate. Arcturus and the people who gathered with him on this mournful day, driven by the only feeling left in them, the feeling of revenge, vowed to destroy the Confederacy at any cost. Calling themselves Sons of Korhal, Arcturus and his renegade team of volunteers were soon declared the most dangerous deserter criminals wanted throughout the sector. Attacking silently and swiftly, the Sons of Korhal scored countless victories against the Confederacy. The Confederate-controlled media, after each victory in the name of justice, invariably presented Arcturus as a terrorist and a madman. Most of the colonies refused to provide shelter or assistance of any kind to anyone associated with the outlawed group. However, despite the overwhelming military advantage of the Confederates and a bad reputation, Mengsk never left the fight against the Tarsonis regime. The Sons of Korhal continued to confound Confederate enforcement agencies, fulfilling their mission of liberators in the Koprulu sector. The various colonial powers and pirate militias continued to spar with the Confederate forces. Despite the disagreements between many groups, the general presence of humans within the Koprulu sector grew stronger and wider. Petty squabbles quickly stopped as soon as the Terran colonies were at the epicenter of a galactic-scale battle. Chausara, the outlying Confederate colony, was attacked by a fleet of 50 alien warships that descended without any warning. The massive ships suddenly opened fire upon the colony, one by one destroying all inhabited settlements on the planet. The furious attack caught the Confederate forces by surprise, sending the Terran fleets into disarray. Humans had never encountered any alien life forms in their sector and began to hastily prepare a rebuff to the new mysterious enemy. The Confederacy attempted clumsily to counterattack the enemy fleet as it moved toward the second Terran planet of Marsara. However, the alien fleet, identifying itself as the protoss, retreated for unknown reasons, sparing the colony. Soon afterward, a second terrible alien presence was discovered in the Marsara colony. The new insectoid invaders were completely different from the protoss, who had attacked the colony shortly before. No Terran group could have foreseen the appearance of two enemy alien races at once in their colonies. Seized by the general mad fear, weakened by their own internal strife, the Terran factions could only watch helplessly as an ever-increasing wave of invaders surged toward the heart of the war-torn Terran sector. At this moment, friends, the StarCraft game begins, and I advise you to experience the following story twists on your own, as part of the exciting gaming campaigns presented to us by Blizzard Entertainment. Unless, of course, you have not done this yet for some mystical reasons. Thank you for your attention and your support. As you remember, likes and reposts are welcome. It helps a lot in the growth of the channel. Those who have not subscribed, subscribe. Well, I will continue to try to please you with quality content. May Adun hide you until I arrive. Good luck.